like you want me to. And I will not let go of you. Meg!
That was overkill. Yeah.
Test it, test it. You want me to, and I will not let go until you tell me to. Damn. Sound like rape. Well, you're not saying let go. You got your hands on my mouth. See my phone?
Oh no, you ain't going nowhere.
Phone's almost good. Is your shit? What the fuck? What, her legs don't work or something?
She did that literally for the virility.
Like, is she a rock climber or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when your legs don't
Yeah,
work.
when your legs don't work.
Says that, but I seen her legs like
Well,
bending and shit.
well, no, it didn't bend. See, yeah, see right here, right
Look, it's
there.
bending them.
Yeah.
It's bending them.
What? I don't know about that. I'm good.
Because to even get up there, your legs have to work for you to
No,
get up there.
no.
Unless
Like,
something puts you
not,
up,
yeah.
kind of.
No, but if you have a built structure that can go like from the bed and up, you know, because I mean I seen motherfuckers with no legs.
Well, that's me
They
too.
be
When
they
you're
be like, oh, I mean I can
yeah,
do
you
that
would
with.
have to go from your bedroom all the way to the kitchen,
Yeah,
monkey climbing,
yeah,
versus just rolling your wheelchair and having something set up in each room and then doing that. So it's
yeah.
like, is that what they're doing? I believe it. I'm just like,
I'm saying it's possible. Yeah, I'm saying it's possible. But I'm like, it's possible, but I don't believe that's what that is. I think she's a mountain climber or some shit.
yeah. Talking about when your legs don't work.
Yeah.
Now that your roses are
Need more money out
blown.
this weekend to simple just than that girl ever having her life
Test it,
has
test it.
ever had in her account.
Why do you like, why is it gonna be belated birthday handsome? Just say, hit me up and roll.
Step your game up, kiddos. Quit using my card for your groceries, bitch.
Must have really pissed good old Wesley off, and she stated that he can't get a hold of me, so he gets desperate and has his friends reach out. He got on my group Zoom call last week, freaks out in front of my client,
Like the
screaming,
log
yelling,
cabin
and
days.
breaking
Four
chairs. He
scores and
tells
seven
us
years.
on
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna
call
share
he
that shit.
sacrificed his soul and did it on camera. This man lost his mind and his soul. I don't have anything bad to say. I truly feel sorry for him. Well, guys, it looks like that we are back somehow yet again with another Wesley meltdown video. video. And at this point, this shit has genuinely become a reality TV show. And instead of a bunch of women with fake tits creating a bunch of unnecessary drama, we have a bunch of roided up, bald men who are getting some of the dumbest tattoos I've ever seen, just always crying about random things and getting mad for no reason. It is literally the Housewives of Miami, and it only seems to keep getting more dumb and over the top, with one man in particular, which of course would be the good old Pegster, all because he just cannot keep his ego in check whatsoever. And it has now led to what I can only consider as a Wesley Thanksgiving crash out, where most of the post that this man made on Thanksgiving was him just being mad as hell and talking some crazy shit. And you see, it all of course has to do with what we covered on Wes only a day or two ago, where we watched him get in trouble for basically trying to stalk and harass his ex and then recording himself doing so for some reason. And he basically ended up posting on his story that he got banned from the strip club that she dances at and seemed to be pretty damn upset about it.
So this is a new record, but we know why. I didn't get to go in, Rhino, and I was already kicked out. I'm kicked out of Tootsie's. Hopefully we can reinstate that. I didn't even get to go in. I was already done. I've been there since before prison. Since before I was locked up, I have not been there. I was already kicked out. Why do you think?
And I have absolutely no idea why Wes decided to expose himself doing this dumb shit, especially since it led to Angie making a response to where she confirmed that he was trying to get into the club. But the situation must have been living in his mind rent-free the entire time, because on the night of Thanksgiving, he ended up hosting one of his usual Q&As. And it started off kind of normal, with people just asking random questions. And one of them asked about if Wes was still dating his old ex Gabby and her girlfriend, so they had some sort of three-way thing going. And for some reason, this must have really set Wesley off. I don't know if it's because he's not seeing his new little dog buddy anymore that he was obsessed with, or what exactly is going on here, but you could tell that it really started to annoy him for some reason with the end of his response. And he seemed to get even more annoyed with the very next question that was asking why everyone is always asking about his relationships.
So you got to get it straight. They're Brazilians, and unfortunately, we already broke up. Just what it is. I mean, I already got a new one, though. Or 5, or 17, or 35, or 65, or 69, or 77. Why is everybody so busy with my life and relationships? Because theirs suck and mine are better. I mean, they hide their people because their people are ugly and shit. And they talk shit about mine. Like, I don't hide any of them. If you don't like the person, I don't care. Oh, this person was better. Yeah, that person was a dumb bitch. This person's actually fun. What you want?
And as you can tell by the line, "this person was a dumb bitch," there was obviously something living rent-free in his head. And this Q&A was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I don't know why he even bothers to ask why people are so obsessed with his relationships or just viewing the destruction that he's committing on himself, or why he even answers questions about it when he's acting like he doesn't want anybody to talk about it. Because right after this, someone asked about Angie still pole dancing in Vegas. And Wes basically confirmed that she still worked at the club that he tried to get into, and that I can only guess is the reason he took his Vegas trip. And he just starts talking some mad shit about Angie.
Yeah, and still doesn't make any money. They never show the real part. I show the real parts. This is why everybody's so fake online. They don't show the real shit. They talk shit to you when you go to a strip club, but they work at one. Okay? And I'll show you that. And I'll show you how they don't show you when they use the guy who's really got money's card and they say he's broke. They're all fucking fake. But I'm still thriving, bitch. We got the chef. We got everything going. We got Thanksgiving. I mean, I gave more money out this weekend to simple bitches than that bitch will ever have in her fucking life has ever had in her account. So just check it out. Just check it out. Go be someone's side chick, you dumb bitch.
So as you can clearly tell, he was obviously feeling some type of way and was mad that she got him banned from her little club, and he couldn't go get a lap dance from the good old ex that he was basically stalking and harassing at this point, and he just started crashing out about it a little bit. And don't get me wrong, Angie isn't completely innocent in this entire thing, and she does her own level of grifting, but I don't blame her for not wanting to be stalked by this complete dipshit who can't help but to freak out online every couple of minutes. And what's really wild is good old Wesley was still just getting started, because even when his homie Rob ended up arriving at the crib, he starts by hyping him up and then has to throw in another little jab right at the end of it.
That shit 100. Rob said, "Fuck, that ain't a $70,000 chain. That's 90. 90K.
90, motherfucker. Step your game up, kiddos. Quit using my card for your groceries, bitch.
And I have
This
absolutely
fucking
no
dude.
idea why this man felt the need to throw that in at the end of this clip specifically, where he's just hyping up Rob's chain, but he hits her with a "stop using my card to buy your groceries, bitch." Just completely out of nowhere. Like, this shit blindsided the hell out of me. And this then led to him going on multiple little tangents about how she's using his card still and the things that she's using it on, and the man's just ranting to the entire internet for no reason. I don't know why he feels the need to put his relationship issues out in the public like
Why he
this
just cut the
after just
card off?
complaining that
The fuck?
everyone's obsessed with his
You know how to cut the card?
relationship,
He can't
but
cut the
it's
card
just
off or
so
something
damn
like that?
goofy.
You could use my card for your groceries if you were a nice person, but you're not. You talk shit and then use my card for your groceries. Where's your dudes at? Like, go get one of these lames to pay it. Spearmint Rhino ain't paying that much right now.
He
Huh?
said go. He
Like,
he
there's just
started on
nobody
himself.
getting
He
lap
said go get one of these
dances.
lames
They'll
to
get
pay
a few
for it.
bucks.
But
She'll let me
she
come in that
used
night
his
because I
money to
spent
pay
a
for
few
it.
bucks, kiddo. Not just groceries, car
You lame,
payments,
dog.
etc. Like, get someone else.
Use
Stop
these
talking about me.
lames.
Like,
That's what she was
I
doing.
like being talked
She was
about
using
negatively if
you.
I'm still supporting people. Like, men support people. I'm a motherfucking man. Where your men at?
Men
They
support people.
left. Exactly.
And as you can tell by those lines specifically, he is still mad that he was not allowed in the strip club that night, and apparently he would have actually given her more money than all of these other guys out there. And I don't know why he felt the need to go on this tangent again, because you could just see Rob in the background awkwardly nod as he just showed up and this was the bullshit Wes was on. And it's all just so damn stupid. But it continues to get even more stupid because someone asked him a question who I'm guessing was just trying to rage bait him and succeeded, and asked if he split up with his baby mama. And Wes got mad because he doesn't have any kids, and he starts referring to the little girl
Oh,
that
that
was a part of
steroids
their
probably.
relationship as a mistake that he was taking care of, which is just some really crazy work.
If you speak in this life, you just have to be right. Like, what you talk about has to be correct, you fucking bird brain idiot. Look at, you split up with your baby's mama. I don't have any kids. I was nice enough to take care of other people's mistakes, but this is the thing. Like, that's their problem. The biggest thing in the world is that you have to understand this. A man who steps up as a stepfather is probably one of the only men who actually wanted kids. Most of you guys just fucked up and had mistakes. That doesn't mean your kids aren't worth. Kids are the best thing on the planet, and the ones that I was lucky enough to raise were everything to me. Taught me a lot of shit, but it taught me more about the dumb bitch. How stupid are you?
And you just have to
What?
love that there
He
at
was
the
like,
end,
"How
he just
stupid are
starts
you,
crashing
dumb
out
bitch?"
on Angie
What was
again,
he
and he
counting
just
on her?
couldn't contain it. And I'm not going to bash him for, raising this kid and trying to do that. But I will bash him for referring to them as a mistake, which
Man, that
is
shit
just
look like
fucked
a
up. And for
sticker.
also constantly trying to use them to promote his own content when he was actually with Angie, and then trying to use them to get back at Angie, which
Look
we
like a
saw a
cholo.
couple of weeks ago, where he was posting
Look just
videos
like a
of them.
cholo and
And
shit.
after this, he started to calm down a little bit, and he finally started to relax a little. And he basically just started fucking trauma dumping on everybody because people continued to ask questions about the relationship.
This is why my relationships were very difficult, because I was not able to say that I was sorry for something I didn't think was wrong. And chicks need you to do that. They need you to say you're wrong about shit you didn't do, and you basically have to choose peace over war. And the whole point is peace over being right. Even the whole point is like, I just won't do that. I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not able to like accommodate someone's weak points and your shortcomings. Definitely helped too many people that didn't deserve it. And that's the thing, like, there's givers and takers in this world. And the givers always know that they're just doing too much, but that's what makes them go get more.
And as per usual, we yet again see Wes trying to play the victim and stating that he's just a giver that gave too much, and he's just unable to take responsibility for anything like he normally does. And all of this was all just crazy enough and goofy enough, but it seems that Angie saw all of these videos, and she actually decided to respond to Wes as well, and ended up exposing him again with a bunch of different pictures. And the first one that she ended up showing showed a caller log with a shit ton of missed calls. And she stated, "Imagine trying to smear me online while calling my phone on private and having your friends reach out because you can't take rejection. That's not a man, that's a tantrum." And she had the audacity to follow this up by posting Wes Watson's butt buddy Alfonso trying to reach out to her for Wes Watson and trying to get her to come over for Thanksgiving dinner, which I'm assuming she rejected, and which must have really pissed good old Wesley off. And she stated that he can't get a hold of me, so he gets desperate and has his friends reach out. "He got on my group Zoom call last week, freaks out in front of my client screaming, yelling, and breaking chairs. He tells us on the call he sacrificed his soul and did it on camera. This man lost his mind and his soul. I don't have anything bad to say. I truly feel sorry for him." And she was still not done after this, because this was occurring mid-Wes Watson freakout, and she stated that what's happening right now isn't physical, it's spiritual. And when someone moves with wickedness, lies, and cruelty, they're not hurting me, they're building a debt for themselves that only God can collect. And trust me, he always does it better than I ever could. And she then followed this one up
Just
with,
warming up to
"That
get on some
being
Call of Duty,
said,
but I
I
might not make
genuinely
it. I might have
hope
to go get some
everyone is
groceries
having a beautiful Thanksgiving,
in
and
a
not
little
to let
bit.
anyone pull your
When I
character
come back,
down
we're
or
gonna
your
get rid of
calling
them
down."
bots.
And she then decided to hit Wes with the final blow and stated that Wes Watson is still and will always be my #1 fan, always and forever. So Angie really came in with some crazy work, and at this point, both of these goobers just need to stop posting their relationship online, where people are just watching and getting a laugh from it.
Yeah,
And
that was
Wes
funny.
needs to go to some type of
Yeah,
anger
he fucking
management
do.
or
Yeah, he
help,
called me a
and needs to
goober,
get
and I
off
was
the
like,
damn
what the
internet,
fuck?
because this shit is crazy. And after this occurred, Wes continued to do his Q&A after he ate dinner, where he basically just sat there and got mad at questions he was getting, and just basically continued to crash out.
Any advice for a Father's Day business owner? Quit nutting in chicks if you ain't got no money, stupid. And second off, the billionaire guy who has 6 kids doesn't say, "And I had 6 kids when I built the
It
business."
works, it works with his era, but I'm like,
My
bro,
favorite
that's some
restaurant.
kid
You guys,
shit.
have you understood this by
Calling me
now?
a goober with
I
some
don't go to
kid
the restaurant
shit.
for
Just tell me,
the
fuck you,
food.
bitch.
I go to a restaurant to watch people watch
You
me,
gonna call me a
motherfucker.
goober from
Biggest thing I
SpongeBob,
noticed
like
about
that.
women as I leveled up is that they
But it
don't know
did.
the difference.
I mean, not hurt
They
me, but
have
I'm saying
a
it was supposed to hurt because
very
his friend
big
was acting like
disconnect
I
in
was
this
supposed to be
area.
hurt by that.
They don't know when someone fucks them or with them. They're so stupid. They don't understand when a guy's just fucking them or with them. Hugest thing. Hey, stupid bitches. Don't be side bitches. Demand the first spot. Dumb f***. You're being laughed at, you dumb idiot. Obviously, I am. I mean, nobody's even come close. I'm just, what'd they do? Like, what'd you do? Like a 90 days in county? I mean, like, dude, you're not a top motherfucker if you didn't go against society.
You're happy
You're a
with the
f***ing lackey.
outputs and the results? This is
You
going well,
f***ing
then
conform
crash.
face. Do you get that? I'd do anything like that, motherfucker, ever.
And yeah, as you can tell, the Thanksgiving crash out just kept going and didn't really come to an end until he left his home, where I guess they decided to go ahead and hit up the club and party. And that concludes our Thanksgiving story for good old Wesley Watson, and concludes our Thanksgiving meltdown. And at this point, it's just sad to see, and the man needs to get some sort of help, because clearly something's not right. But if you enjoyed, please drop a sub and a like, and join the Saints Mafia, where we are staying on all of these fake alpha males. And I'm out. Watching Wesley Watson continue to embarrass himself in peace.
You need to stop talking about haters because, dude, they're just not relevant. The only reason they're relevant is because they talk about me. So the point is they're not relevant without me.
I'll
so
watch it because
we
it's
know
like
who's
right
the winner.
here, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna subscribe to
when
these
you're
guys'
part of the
channel. I
elite
wouldn't care if
team,
he fucking doesn't even show
You're
these
not
guys.
just fucking buying
You know
a
what I'm saying?
program. You're fucking family
Get rid of all
if we
this
like you.
saturated shit and start like having more informational stuff again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was, I would say it was a lot easier for me to get some informational shit through YouTube, but let me see what's next. Hawk Tui girl. Let me see your videos, your likes, the playlist like video. Eli.
I said, hey, in my trench coat, that's a big coat. Hey,
Medicine? Let's get weird into it. Number 8. Roman chariot racing. If you think Formula 1 is dangerous, imagine the cars are made of wicker and leather. The engine is 4 panicked horses, and the other drivers are actively trying to kill you with whips. Roman chariot racing was the biggest sport in the ancient world, a spectacle that makes the Super Bowl look like a knitting circle. The Circus Maximus in Rome could hold 150,000 spectators. The drivers, or aurigae, were mostly slaves, but if they survived, they could become richer than senators. The key word there is if. The chariots were incredibly light and unstable. To control the immense power of the horses, drivers had to wrap the reins around their waists. This gave them leverage, but it also meant that if the chariot crashed, which happened in almost every race,
Oh shit.
the driver would be dragged
He about to
behind
be
the stampeding
dragged.
horses until he was essentially erased from existence. Drivers carried a small knife to cut
Who the hell
themselves
is it?
free, but good luck finding a knife while you are bouncing off the ground at 40 miles per hour. The turns were the deadliest part. Called the meaty, these tight corners were where
Pretty sure it's
competitors
some
would
type of
intentionally
play on
ram
words
each other,
when you-
causing shipwrecks of tangled horses, splintered wood, and broken bodies.
Uh-huh.
The
Big
fans were just as
bonus.
dangerous as the race, organized into factions like the Blues, Greens, Reds, and Whites. They were the original soccer hooligans. They would riot in the stands, beat up rival fans, and occasionally burn down parts of the city if their team lost. The Nika riots in Constantinople, started by chariot fans, left 30,000 people dead. The sport didn't really get banned so much as the Roman economy collapsed, and
Every
people
morning
could
wake
no
up,
longer
huh?
afford to feed 4 horses just to watch them
Oh, no, I'm
crash.
still
It was a
healthy.
high-speed meat grinder that proved humanity has always loved speed,
I fucking
even when the brakes hadn't been invented yet.
counted
Number
20.
7. The Mesoamerican ball game. Imagine a sport where the halftime show involves a high priest and an obsidian knife, and the MVP trophy is a shallow grave. This is the Mesoamerican ball game, known variously as Ulamalisli, or pits, played by the Maya, Aztecs, and others for over 3,000 years. The court was an eye-shaped stone alleyway. The ball was made of solid rubber, weighing up to 9 pounds. For context, a soccer ball weighs about 1 pound. If this
Oh,
solid
9
rubber
pounds.
cannonball hit you in the head, you were dead. If it hit you in the stomach, you wished you were dead. To make it harder, you weren't allowed to use your hands or feet.
Yeah, right.
You had to
Like,
keep the
damn,
ball in
that's a
play using only
heavy-ass
your hips,
ball.
knees, and
9
elbows.
pounds.
The players
and
wore
then
thick
they
padding,
like
which helped a
use their
little,
hips, I think,
but the
to
internal
like hit the
bleeding was
ball
just part
into
of
the
the
hole.
warm-up. The objective was to keep
That's
the ball
fucking
moving,
hard,
or, in
dude.
later versions,
9
to pass it
pounds?
through a tiny
Dude.
stone hoop mounted high on the wall. Putting a 9-pound ball through a vertical hoop using only your hip is practically impossible, which is why games could last for days. But the real kicker was the religious significance.
Yeah,
This wasn't
sacrifice.
just a game.
What they say.
It was a reenactment of cosmic battles. The ball represented the sun, and the sun needs fuel. That fuel was blood. At the end of major ritual
Goddamn!
games, human sacrifice was
Crash
mandatory.
again?
Historians
It's
still
fucking
argue
not
over who
working.
got
It's- I can't
sacrificed.
do nothing about
The
it.
losers, which adds
Any
insult to
momentum I
injury,
have, it's
or the
like
winners,
dead.
which would be the
Fuck.
highest honor imaginable. Congratulations on the big win. Here is your complimentary decapitation. The
For
Spanish
real.
conquistadors were so
Like, how
horrified
do you
by the
motivate
brutality
somebody to even win
and
that?
the rubber
Like, I
ball,
get they like
which they
mind
thought was
washed or
possessed by
whatever
demons because it
into
bounced,
thinking that it's a
that
sacrifice
they banned the
to the
game
greater of
and
gods.
destroyed the courts. It was a rare instance
believe
where
it.
the
I
Europeans
believe
looked
it.
at a local custom and
I
said,
believe it happened.
okay,
You know what I'm saying?
even we think this is a bit much. Number
We-
6,
we getting
mob
people to do
football.
crazy shit right
You are
now.
a peasant in medieval England. Life is short, plague is rampant, and you have a lot of repressed rage. Once a year on Shrove Tuesday, the local authorities allow you to unleash all that anger in a game called mob football. This wasn't football as you know it. There were no goalposts, no field markings, and no limit on the number of players. The teams were usually entire villages or rival parishes. The ball was an inflated pig's bladder encased in leather. The goal was to get the ball from one landmark to another, usually church porches that were miles apart. The space between the goals included rivers, dense forests, town squares, and people's private homes. There were essentially no rules. You could punch, kick, tackle, and trample anyone in your way. If the
Damn.
ball went into a river, 300 men would dive in after it, resulting in mass drownings. If the
Damn.
ball went into a shop, that shop was no longer a shop. It was kind of splinters. It was less a sport and more a sanctioned riot. Kings repeatedly tried to ban it. King Edward II issued a proclamation in 1314 forbidding the game because the noise and chaos were disturbing the peace, and more importantly, distracting men from practicing archery, which was necessary for war. But the mob loved their violence too much. The game persisted for centuries, evolving into rugby and soccer, but stripping away the part where you could legally assault your neighbor and destroy his fence just because he lived in the wrong parish. Number 5. Pankration. In the sanitized world of modern sports, we have rules. You can't bite people in boxing. You can't kick people in the groin in soccer. In ancient Greece, however, they looked at the concept of safety regulations and laughed. Enter pankration, the Olympic sport that was essentially MMA designed by psychopaths. The name translates to all powers, and it was a submission sport with only 2 rules: no biting
Death.
and no eye gouging. Everything else was legal, and when the Spartans participated, they ignored the rules anyway, because they considered following rules to be a sign of weakness. Matches had no time limits and no weight classes. You fought until one person surrendered, was knocked unconscious, or died. Techniques included breaking fingers, a specialty of a fighter named Sostratos, strangulation, and kicking opponents in the stomach until they collapsed. The referees carried heavy sticks to whip fighters who violated the 2 meager rules. But usually, they just stood back and let the trauma happen. It was considered the ultimate test of male strength, blending boxing and wrestling into a slurry of violence. The most famous story of pankration involves a fighter named Arishian. He was being strangled by his opponent in a championship match. As he was fading into the darkness of death, Arishian managed to kick his opponent and dislocate the guy's ankle. The pain was so intense that the opponent tapped out and surrendered. At that exact moment, Arishian died from the chokehold. The judges declared Arishian the winner posthumously. He remains the only athlete in history to win a gold medal by dying. The sport was eventually banned by the Roman Emperor Theodosius I in 393 AD, not because it was too violent, but because he was banning all pagan festivals. It took humanity another 500 years to reinvent the UFC, though we added a few more rules,
to bring back the
mostly to
pagan
keep the
holiday.
lawsuits down. Number 4.
He brought
The
it back.
Naumachia. On a sunny day in 80 AD, you walk into the Colosseum in
History
Rome.
always repeats
You expect to
itself.
see gladiators fighting lions or maybe an execution or two. Instead, you look down and see that the entire arena floor is gone,
How do you get
replaced
that?
by millions of gallons of water. There are full-sized warships floating in it. You are about to witness a Naumachia, the most expensive and logistically insane sport in human history. The Romans were show-offs of the highest order. It wasn't enough to conquer the known world. They had to recreate it inside a building just to prove they could plumbing. Emperors like Titus and Claudius would order the flooding of amphitheaters or the excavation of massive artificial lakes to stage naval battles. These weren't theatrical performances with actors pretending to die. These were thousands of prisoners of war and condemned criminals dressed as opposing fleets, usually Greeks versus Persians, and told to kill each other for real. The scale is hard to comprehend. In one event hosted by Emperor Claudius at Fucine Lake, 19,000 men were forced to fight. That is larger than the actual size of most ancient armies. The water would turn red within minutes. The players knew that if they fought hard enough and put on a good show, the emperor might grant them mercy. If they tried to fake it, the Praetorian Guard was standing on the docks with catapults to sink them. The engineering required to flood the Colosseum and then drain it quickly enough to have a land battle the next day is something modern engineers still argue about. It was a flex of hydraulic power that has never really been matched. However, the Naumachia eventually faded away, not because of the cruelty. The Romans loved that part, but because the arenas started cracking under the weight of the water, and the colossal cost of staging a literal war for entertainment bankrupted the treasury. It turns out simulating a naval disaster is almost as expensive as having a real one. Number 3. Board track racing. You are perched on a wooden bleacher in 1920, the smell of sawdust and castor oil filling your nose. Below you is an oval track, but it's not made of asphalt or dirt. It is made of thousands of 2x4 wooden planks, banked at a terrifying 45-degree angle. This is a murder drone, and you are about to watch men die for the price of a hot dog. Board track racing was the American obsession before NASCAR, featuring motorcycles that were essentially bicycle frames with airplane engines strapped to them. These bikes had no brakes. Let me repeat that.
Bicycle.
They had absolutely no brakes. They also had no throttle control. The engine was either off or full screaming death, and the only way to slow down was to hit a kill switch that shorted the magneto, which would often cause the unburnt fuel in the exhaust to explode, shooting flames onto the oil-soaked wooden track. The tracks themselves were the real villains here. Constructed from cheap lumber, they would warp and decay rapidly. As the bikes tore around at over 100 miles per hour, the tires would chew up the wood, creating splinters. But these weren't the kind of splinters you get from a rough park bench. These were 2-foot-long daggers of timber that would fly up and impale riders and spectators alike. Imagine racing through a tornado of wooden spears while riding a bomb. If a rider fell, the rough wood acted like a cheese grater against their skin. If they didn't fall, they might just fly off the top of the steep banking and launch into the crowd. In one horrific incident in New Jersey, a crash killed the racers and several spectators. Yet the race continued because the show must go on. The combination of oil-soaked wood and exploding engines meant tracks frequently burned down, which was probably the universe's way of saying, stop doing this. By the 1930s, the murder drones were dismantled. The carnage was too high, the maintenance too expensive, and the Great Depression meant people couldn't afford to watch men turn themselves into human mulch anymore. Number 2. Fox tossing. We usually think of the 17th and 18th centuries as a time of high culture, Baroque music, and very powdery wigs. But if you peel back the velvet curtain of the European aristocracy, you find a group of people so profoundly bored that they invented Fuchsprellen, or fox tossing. This wasn't a sport for athletes. It was a party game for couples who wanted to flirt while launching woodland creatures into the stratosphere. Here is the setup. You and your partner stand about 20 feet apart in a courtyard, holding the ends of a long webbed strap or sling, laying it flat on the ground. Then, the game master releases a confused fox, badger, or wildcat. As the animal scampers across your strap, you and your partner yank the ends with all your might, turning the fabric into a trampoline. The goal was simple physics. Transfer kinetic energy into the animal to see how high it could fly. It sounds like a cartoon, but the reality was gruesome. A skilled tossing couple could launch a fox 24 feet into the air. The King of Poland, Augustus the Strong, was reportedly a massive fan and held a contest in Dresden where over 600 foxes, 280 hares, and a few bewildered boars were tossed in a single afternoon. The boars, being heavy and dense, didn't fly so much as they just broke the wrists of the tossers, which feels like instant karma. The participants would dress in full court regalia, sometimes costuming themselves as mythological heroes, while the animals were occasionally dressed in bits of cardboard and tinsel to look like caricatures of unpopular political figures. It was a bizarre mix of cruel blood sport and arts and crafts hour. Eventually, the sport died out as cultural sensibilities shifted, and people realized that perhaps flinging wildlife at the sun wasn't the pinnacle of sophistication. Plus, the cleanup required after hundreds of animals hit the ground at terminal velocity was likely a nightmare that no amount of perfume could cover up. It remains a stark reminder that before Netflix, humans would do absolutely anything to pass the time. Number 1. Auto polo. Imagine you are a wealthy thrill seeker in the early 1910s. You love the sophistication of polo, with its horses and mallets and casual aristocracy. But you have a slight problem. Horses are alive, they have feelings, and they don't explode nearly often enough for your taste. Enter the short-lived, catastrophic brainchild of the Industrial Revolution known as auto polo. This was exactly what it sounds like. Instead of nimble thoroughbreds, players strapped themselves into stripped-down Model T Fords, essentially motorized bathtubs with wheels, and drove at full speed toward a giant ball while swinging sledgehammers. The concept was simple. Replace the biological agility of a horse with the mechanical fragility of early 20th century engineering. The cars were stripped of their roofs, doors, and windshields, not for aerodynamics, but because you were definitely going to fall out of them, and glass shards are annoying to pick out of your teeth. To protect the driver and the mallet man hanging off the side like a gargoyle, the vehicles were fitted with roll bars. This was the first time in history roll bars were used, mainly because this was the first time people decided to flip cars over as a hobby. The matches were less about scoring goals and more about waiting to see whose engine block would eject itself first. Collisions were mandatory. Cars would routinely T-bone each other, flip continuously, and catch fire, much to the delight of the screaming crowds. In fact, the damage was so severe that matches rarely finished, because all the vehicles would be reduced to smoking piles of scrap metal before the clock ran out. It was a demolition derby played by people wearing ties. The referee, the poor soul tasked with maintaining order in a game defined by vehicular manslaughter, had to act as an on-field mechanic, dodging spinning tires and leaking oil pans. Eventually, the sport was banned not because the government stepped in, but because the cost of replacing an entire fleet of automobiles every weekend became too high even for the rich, and the insurance premiums skyrocketed to the point where it was cheaper to just buy a new factory than to insure a single match. And that's our time for today. More strange things are always coming, so I'll see you in the next one.
I said, hey, in my trench coat, that's a big coat. Hey,
Medicine?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't want that, man.
What that for?
That's for sex.
Huh?
That's for sex.
Oh. Hey, nasty. What's your talent, bro?
Did that just happen?
Yeah,
Look good. A
nasty.
little good.
Listen, I'm not gonna say I'm hating on the fit, but let's move on, okay? Now in 2019.
Yeah, and I'm still going. Fuck you talking about. Yeah, I'm cool.
My camera is on.
It's not on. I can see only black things. Nothing. No face. No everything.
I'm black. You seeing me?
I can't see you.
I'm Stella. He's Irene. Darling, I thought you liked me. Don't tell me that I had it all wrong. Ooh-wah. 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 Ooh-wah.
Your mom's on her way to get you.
Okay.
I'm fucking pissed.
Okay.
And
If I don't know you, then
Please
what?
stop interrupting me. The thing is,
It was
I would have
calling
never
him 'cause
done
he
this to
was,
somebody.
He took off at night. I guess.
Okay.
Your mom's on her way to get you.
Okay.
I'm fucking pissed.
Okay.
And if
I don't know you, then
please
what?
stop interrupting me.
Yeah.
Ooh-wah.
Your mom's on her way to get you.
Okay.
I'm fucking pissed.
Okay.
If I don't know you, then
Please
what?
stop
His friend
interrupting me.
saying he's pissed at him for getting caught.
No, his
The
friends
thing
are
is,
laughing. Yeah, because he got caught. I
And
guess
they're
they were
saying I'm fucking pissed that you got caught because now we all got to go back home. Who was that saying I'm fucking pissed? Was that his dad?
No, his dad said that. His dad said
Okay,
I'm
okay.
fucking pissed. He said,
Okay.
"I'm fucking pissed."
To say he got caught by his mom.
He said, "Yeah." I think he said, your mom's coming to get you." He said,
Yeah.
your mom's coming to get you.
Oh, the dad was telling him that.
Yeah,
Your mom's
either he's
Say it
on
again.
either he's visiting
Oh,
with his
yeah.
dad and then skipped out. You see what I'm saying?
Mom's like, I got him. You ain't fucking watching him.
Maybe, but he
Or
told
maybe
him,
he's just like, I'm just gonna send you back home to your mom.
or maybe he's the dad and he's watching, but he was just like, or his stepdad. I don't
Yeah,
know.
who knows? Different
Yeah,
scenarios.
but he said, your mom's coming to get you. I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And his friends are laughing because he got caught. And he's like, where you at so I can come get you?
Yeah.
But he's not even telling them
Yeah.
because he's like, I don't want to give over my friends and shit.
Ah.
So I gotta have a cool ass mom of mine. Yeah. Well, that's it. I'll be back. When I come back, we're gonna get on some Call of Duty. The other reason why we did so good too is because I was using automatic guns basically, like the shotgun,
Yeah.
automatic shotgun, and the other one that shoots real fucking fast. Yeah, so. Oh,
Okay.
one new subscriber? What?
Okay.
One new more subscriber?